So, I love Pokemon games, and if you're here, I think you do too. It's been a while since Scarlet and Violet came out. How long was that? Oh man, what even happened in the past 2 years? I can't remember. But I'm excited for Legends ZA. But until then, I had to scratch my Pokemon itch. As a nocturnal college kid who has trouble falling asleep, I decided to scroll through Roblox games until 4 AM, as one does, which is when I found Doodle World. I mean, it's cute, it's got some fun stories. How did I end up here? Okay, but before all that, it would be super cool if you guys liked and subscribed. As a tiny, small, little content creator, it would mean a lot to me. Anyway, what's everyone's favorite part of a Pokemon game? Is it catching Pokemon? Maybe it's the characters or team building? The guy in the back, what's that? The story. Yes, everyone loves the story, right? Yeah, people really like the story in Pokemon games. Well, don't worry. I'll give you guys a quick rundown of the game and how I became the best trainer in Doodle World. Like any Pokemon game, you actually just spawn in the lab where you pick your starter. I went for this little cute electric guy. You immediately run into your stuck-up rich rival who we slap back into his private jet. We make our way down Route 1, beat everyone we possibly can, catch a few more guys, and then we meet up with TJ, who is somewhat important. I think he's a pretty chill guy. Then we find ourselves in some kind of sewer where we learn about the guy that can teleport, who's also a criminal. Now, throughout the story, we learn a bit about a company called Doodle Co. This company pretty much runs the entire world, and the president's son is our rival. Yeah, that rich kid. If I haven't said it yet, I will be spoiling the story a bit, so if you don't want to hear that, feel free to skip ahead. Basically, Doodle Co. in the future is going to accidentally destroy the world. To stop this, we must collect all the keys before they do. The first of which we find at the Sky Temple, where we run into this rich kid again. After stealing his lunch money, we make quick work of the Temple Guardian too. But the gods did not like my disrespect as the temple just blew up, and a bandaged guy appears from the rubble and also just destroys the rich kid's plane. Like, damn man, it's not that deep. We don't want anything to do with this guy, so we just run to our next destination. Some run-down, drug-infested, post-apocalyptic New York. We go to this chocolate factory and pick up this homeless girl. Yeah, I don't know either. She just kind of tags along with the group. TJ and I fight over getting the keys even though we're on the same team. The rich kid becomes quick friends with us after the masked criminal kind of edged him on to tag along with us. We beat up a bootleg Charlie in his chocolate factory before heading out to the Doodle Academy for the next key because apparently its guardian is still in school. We do some errands where we run into this powerful blonde dude with Kronos, a guardian doodle that can manipulate time. Like damn, he just has that, huh? This is where we learn about the multiple timelines and how TJ was never in any other timeline. We slap the dimensional hopper and make our way back for more keys. Oh, we also get the next key here. Real quick, I just have to say how cool these doodle designs are. Like, it's pretty cute. My favorite is this little guy. Also, stick to the end where I show off a doodle concept which came to life thanks to a friend. I think it's pretty cool. Then we travel through a desert to reach an oasis, a beautiful city that's enslaved a legendary doodle to power the city. We end up splitting up with TJ and the rich kid who wants to get to the key before us even though we're on the same team. The random homeless girl we picked up joins us where we find out, surprise, the CEO is corrupt. We free the legendary doodle and pick up the next key. Now, I'm skipping over a lot of the finer details that flesh out the story more, so if you want to get the big picture, like how Doodle Co. has executives that are basically the 7 deadly sins, weird tech guys that ask for secret data, or the witch who knows about the outside world, play the game yourself. It's pretty fun. So after this, TJ basically decides that he wants to do his own thing and gets a huge ego. The chosen one from none of the timelines. After saving the oasis, I think we did. I don't really know about the economics of running a town, but hey. We decide it's time to visit the snow area. Apparently alchemy is the origin of technology in this world. A lot of shenanigans goes down. Like how this ninja group wants the key for themselves because they joined up with Doodle Co. and wants to rise through the executive ranks. They have their own internal problems. The princess, I think she is at least, hides the key in the castle, which is also when the dimensional hopper comes back and reveals he's the future rich kid. Seeing how his world ended, he vowed to fix things. However, he can no longer go back in time. This is his last chance. We also get another reveal that us in this timeline is a lot stronger than any other timeline. So, like, we were a nobody in every other timeline, I think? We also get a few weird scenes where we can take over the actions of others, Even the witch calls out to us observing her cutscene. So my small brain is going to predict the fact that the game is going to make you, the us playing, an actual being in the game. We aren't just our characters in game. We are our human counterpart as well. But that's enough of the story. The game isn't actually complete yet. Only 5 out of 10 keys are available so far, and I'm excited to see what comes next. But what's next, you ask for now? Well, let me tell you. I wanted to become the very best. You see, there is PvP, but before that I had to make a PvP ready team. But before that, I had to actually understand the game more. So let's just get started. I did some research and I was immediately overwhelmed. The typings, the MPH36, the MP, MHT, the uniques, cleans, star ratings, move learner, printers, tickets. Also, I tried asking for help in the Discord, but everyone ignored me because I'm some scrub on the street, but it's time. So basically with terminology, each doodle has a star rating attached to it. It affects your base stats. So for PvP, you want the highest, which is 6 stars. In the wild, each doodle has a random star amount attached to it. I literally never found a 6 star in the wild, and you won't even know what star it is until you catch it. But there is an item that allows you to see it if your doodle's holding it. Or you could just pay for it. Like in regular Pokemon, there are abilities, we have traits, which are also random, including hidden traits, which some are really good for PvP. Those 2 things are probably what's all you need for PvP. Doodles can also use equipment to boost stats, which you can get from machines or the PvP shop. They can also hold regular held items. Okay, so you know how Pokemon have shinies? Here we have misprints. Get it? Cause they're doodles? So an MP is a misprint. A MPHT is a misprint with a hidden trait. An MPHT6 is a 6-star misprint hidden trait. On top of all that, there are uniques, which is just a whole nother level of rarity, all looking different. That being said, if you have any of these as a 6-star misprint and hidden trait for some, DM me. Now, let's talk about printing. This is kind of like the breeding system in Pokemon, but way better. Basically, you can put in a doodle in this ink system thing, and over time it collects tickets. You can use these tickets to then print one of these doodles. You can select the star rarity, trait, even the size, which is amazing. So good in fact that it's too good to be true, yeah. If you want to print a 6-star version of a doodle, you have to sink in the rest of your day to master the doodle line. What do I mean by master the doodle line? In the doodle decks, there are tasks associated with each doodle. Completing them gives you some rewards. Some of them are using 20 of a certain move, killing 100 other doodles, or killing a certain amount of the same doodle. This can take a long time if the doodle you're trying to complete is a very rare spawn. So yeah, I spent my weekend running around doing tasks in a kid game, picking a team of my favorite doodles with the help of a few people. Just cashing on the store with some gems and Robux to get some legendaries, and we're done. There's also this area called Runic Temple, which a single run feels like it takes half my day. It gives items that you need for, Pokemon held items. Then finally, the stat changer stick, which is basically like a Pokemon's nature. This is another RNG machine, but hey, after you do all that for 6 doodles, you are looking ready. So what exactly was my team made up of? With 6 total slots, I went with something basic, a defensive core of 2 doodles that can somewhat cover each other's weaknesses. One was Seam Knight, my favorite doodle. Its trait, Vigor, is pretty similar to Aegislash's stance change. Actually, it's pretty much that. Having a form with high defense stats and one with high offensive stats. What gave this doodle an edge was the move Scissor Guard, which acts like Protect. When using this move, it changes Seam Knight back into its defensive stance. It also has a secondary effect where any contact move hitting it does damage back to that doodle. I gave it Scissor Guard, Vague Vortex, Daze, and Mineral Cannon, which are all offensive moves, and the leftovers item. Overall, a solid pick for my team. The second part of our defensive core is Zerzura. Yeah, the legendary doodle that was captured in Oasis City. You can encounter it there with a 1 in 800 chance, and it's not even guaranteed to have a 6-star rating to it. And good luck getting a hidden trait along with everything else, since you can't really print legendary doodles anyway. But we got gems, baby, so I just bought one. So Zerzura complements the fire weakness Seam Knight has. It also has an important ground immunity. Its trait Detox turns poison into pretty much leftovers. It's pretty cool since you're only allowed to have one of each item on a team. I gave it Surf, Storm Heal, Air Slash, and Earthquake. Now onto our offensive core of 2 doodles, with one being a sweeper while the other was this Revenge Cleaner. I chose Hatrix as I thought it was super cute. Now, this game has the Mega mechanic, so on my team, Hatrix would be the one holding the Mega Stone, the Hatrix Rune. My Hatrix at base form had the Routine trait, which basically made same type moves 50% stronger, and its Mega form's trait Spell Shield, which reduced incoming magic attacks by 50%. Basically, I would use Hatrix when I see the opportunity to set up and then press the advantage. I gave it the moves Mind Empowerment, which greatly increases magic damage, Siphon Soul, an attack that also heals, Psycho Force, a powerful psychic attack, and finally Feral Fury as a coverage attacking move. Its deadly duo would be Nocturi X, a small and cute evil little guy. Its ability Resentment would give it an attack boost if it was swapped in after your duel had fainted. A super powerful ability which let it hit the ground running when it was swapped in. I gave it Pursuit, Dark Blast, Crystal Storm, and Crunch. All offensive moves, so I gave it an item to boost magic attacks. Now, normally you'd want a pivot or something that would allow you to reset the battlefield when you're at a disadvantage. I didn't really have that, and instead opted for more aggression. I was worried because I didn't have a fire type doodle, so I picked up Fire Laser Dragon. This is another legendary doodle which has a really cool mechanic. Based on the item it holds either an electric, fire, or earth data chip, it could give it a secondary typing. Earth being the best, but for my team, I picked fire. I gave it all powerful attacking moves for good coverage, as well as its signature ability Elemental Claws. It's a normal type attack, but if Laser Dragon is holding a data chip, this ability gains that elemental's typing. Now, the trait is what really makes it scary. You ideally want to have the hidden trait Absorber. It's immune to the data chip's typing and even heals off those types of attacks. It's a really big deal since usually it's an attack that Laser Dragon is weak to. But I'm broke, so I had to settle with its normal trait Fireproof Armor, which just halves fire type attacks. For the final slot, I brought in a Scouting Doodle that could safely engage and disengage a fight. Gyarosera. It's a tanky doodle with a really useful ability Refresher. It heals back a decent amount of HP when it switches out. This allows it to feel out the battlefield without risking too much. This was really helpful since I don't know anything about the game or typing matchups. I gave it Life Sap, which is a move that also heals, Rusty Boots, which also hits metal types for super effective damage, Goo Blast, and Savage Blow. I also gave it an item to boost its defenses. This is my team, handcrafted by yours truly, and we are off. Bronze was a bit of a breeze, a loss here or there, but we made it into silver pretty quickly. Some quick highlights were just me sweeping teams. Sometimes I see players that haven't finished the game yet, but most of these guys actually had the 5th key, so I guess they're just kind of free. Also, holy god, why is there so much stall? There was a game I spent sitting there for at least 20 minutes just because I was so annoyed I didn't want to forfeit to stall. And I managed to win. Now, silver was a bit trickier, but not by much. I was still learning the game, so most of my losses came from my own mistakes that I had made. Again, this team is kind of something I threw together with doodles that I liked. So it struggled a bit into some matchups, especially when I didn't really know what I was playing against. After a while, I was on my rank up to gold, 11 points away, so I queued up and locked in. I take a look at their team in the preview and note that they have 2 fire types, but nothing too scary. I think they're going to lead with their fire type, Insilisk, so I lead with my Zera. I was right. I was debating if they would switch out or not, but I thought this player would be a little dumb and not switch out, so I locked in a water type move. I should have hit Earthquake, but it's fine. Then it Mega Evolves on me and one-shots me. A little mad, I brought out my speedy big guns to take it out, which I'm surprised they didn't swap out for. Next they bring out this thing. I know I can't hit it with my dark type moves because of its trait, so I lock in an electric slash almost taking it out, but it takes out my laser dragon. I'll make quick work of it next turn though. They bring out a fire type, which I'm weak against, but my Gyarosera is pretty tanky, so I think I can take at least one of these fireballs. Its ability lets me play a little more recklessly. Yeah, that did no damage. I decide to play it safe and swap into Sea Knight, even if it's weak to fire since I know it can handle this. Losing my one answer to fire types was a throw, but I have to deal with it now. I swap into Hatrix and think it would be a good idea to set up on this guy, since we take less damage from the fireball thanks to our ability. Yeah, we're in the clear. Almost got us there. We're weak to Bug, but now it's the Hatrix show. Nothing can really outspeed it, so we take the victory and finally we hit gold. Oh, okay then. I guess we need to run it back. Why am I nervous? It's just a ranked game. It's not even high elo. There's like 5 more ranks above me. Oh, okay, we're in a game. Let's see. What am I looking at? What is that team? No, let's just speedrun this guy. I lead with my scout, and he leads with the fish. He's probably going to swap out, so it's a free damage for me. We get a lucky crit and another lucky speed drop on our next attack, but he brings us down to half, so it's not really safe to stay in. I swap out into our good old Team Knight, and they do too, which is also when I realize we both healed. Wow, that is annoying. I keep up the aggression as they swap again. I'm not really sure what's going on. I play it safe and I guard here to put us back into our defensive form and hope that it would attack us and hit itself to knock it out. Wow, we get another secondary effect. We are getting super lucky today. Having a feeling that it was going to swap, I kept up the aggression, not shielding this turn, and it paid off. They bring their mega snail thing out again, which does pretty much no damage to me, and I one-shot it. Yeah, they forfeited. And just like that, we make it into gold. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty fun battling. But this is where my journey ends for now. I got finals coming up and I need to study, but I want to get this out before the holidays. I do want to be on top of the PvP ladder. After all, I'm already the best in the game, so if you want to see that, let's hit 100 likes. And I'll make sure I spend every waking moment taking down the 1%, so all may fear me. Also, I kinda want to get my own skin in the game, so I might have to do it just for that. If anyone out there is willing to train me and help me craft the best team ever, drop a comment or just DM me. Well, that's pretty much it for now. This next part is just me making my own doodle for the fun of it, making my own little guy. There's a concept art channel in the official Discord and it inspired me. So let's start with the basic concept. There's something called a runic island in the game, which is where you could get held items, equipment, or just stuff in general. You also get the runestones from here, which is also the mega evolution in the game. Now, there are special kind of doodles you can only find here, ones that went extinct. I think, at least. I'm not well versed in the doodle world lore, but I thought it would be a really cool idea to see a runic variant of a doodle that already exists in the game. Kind of like how it might have looked in the past. Introducing Crowned Blade, the runic version of the current world's Team Knight. The world before was a ruthless one, especially the home of the Crowned Blade. To survive it, it adapted its tactics to be extremely efficient in both offense and defense. In the current day, this adaptability led it to learn its fluid stance changing. But in the past, the Crown Blade was a ruthless, chaotic, and wild doodle. The stats reflect its harsh environment. It does have the scissor guard, but it doesn't have an effect yet that its future counterpart does. Rather, it has a new signature move that was forgotten, Glacier Rend. This attack hits twice and is always a critical hit. Crown Blade covers its blades in Sub-Zero Ice and attacks with deadly precision, striking twice. Now, what are its abilities? I gave it Accelerate since I wanted to be the speedy demon. Just a monster of a doodle really. On top of that, its hidden trait, a new one, Frostlock. It traps the opposing doodle for 3 turns. I realize it's kinda broken, so if that's too much, let's just instead raise its attack by 1 stage. Cool? Cool. Why, you may ask? Because it's my baby, and I love him, and I want him to be able to obliterate anything in its sight. If you made it this far into the video, well please subscribe. It would be really cool. I have a few projects and interesting videos coming out, and it would be great. Oh, and don't forget to like. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, I hope to see you there.